Hey YouTube, Mad Witch here. Uh, Today I would like to talk about my beliefs. Now everybody thinks that all I want to do is get on other people's religion and everything else, and this is not true. And when I do talk about other people's religions, I'm not doing it to be mean or hurtful or say that they're wrong, because honestly they're not. It's just their religion is not right for me. Now, as you can see in my name, I call myself witch and pagan. These are just two terms to describe us. Anybody who practices, but you got to be careful with who you call a witch and who's not a witch. I consider myself a witch because I do practice witchcraft or magic. Do I believe magic works? Do I believe it's real? Well, I wouldn't be much of a witch if I didn't. I mean, really. Uh, Magic in and of itself, you could actually think of as uh, kind of like how prayer works. You know, you sit there and you ask a higher power for help, essentially, or to get something that you want done. Uh, Obviously, you have to put in the footwork. Magic, prayer, it just it just gives you that extra oomph. Basically, it gives you that more chance of success. Um, but I was actually thinking about doing a whole set of videos about the belief of paganism in general, and I realized that there's just too much information and too many paths to do just a few videos on it. So I'm just going to do the one video on what I believe. Uh, it's actually really, really hard to explain what paganism truly is to somebody who is not open minded. So please, if you think that witchcraft, paganism, or any other religion other than your own is just a bunch of hoo ha crap, bullshit, fantasy, whatever, turn this video off now, because you honestly don't deserve to watch this video. My religion will be more uh, easier to explain to somebody who is open minded, no matter what religion they are or lack of religion thereof. Uh, so I want to try to explain what I believe personally. Now, this does not go for every and all pagans. It's just me. I am what is known as a eclectic solitary naturalist. Basically, what this means is three words. The first word, eclectic, means that I don't follow one particular path. I pick and choose and I borrow from other paths. I've always said no one religion is right, but no one religion is wrong. So I pick and choose what I like from other religions and philosophies, and I incorporate that into what I believe, because it is what I believe. If I like it that much to where it's like, yeah, that sounds like something I do, or yeah, that sounds about right, yes, I'm going to use it. plain and simple. And for any other eclectic pagans who are watching this, don't feel ashamed for doing that. It's your path, it's what you believe, and you can't knock anybody for that. The second one is solitary. That should be self-explanatory. I practice my belief by myself. I am the only one that I know of personally that believes the way that I do. Now, there might be somebody else out there who believes the same way I do. Just, I don't know them. I don't participate in coven activities. Uh, I do, I do personally know other pagans around the area, uh, but we just don't practice our religion together. And it might be, solitary witches. Uh, the reason why they're solitary is because they can't find somebody who believes exactly the way they believe or close to the way they truly believe. Uh, and naturalist. Naturalist in the pagan sense means that they believe that everything is alive, that everything has a spirit, that everything can feel. But they also realize that just because they are alive, just because they can feel, I mean, you shouldn't be cruel and unusual to animals, and when you're uh, tearing down or planting trees or other forms of flora, you should be mindful of what you're doing because it can, in the long run, hurt the ecosystem. A naturalist also knows that, we need meats, we need fruits and vegetables and grains and all this good stuff in order for us to survive. Just like any other animal. We need to eat. In order to eat, we need to kill, whether it's plant or animal. That's just the sad truth. Now, does that mean that I want to get on hunters for hunting deer or, uh, farmers for growing crops? No, because you know, what if those hunters? What if they live out in the mountains someplace and that's the only substance they have is uh, their deer or whatever they're hunting, and then the nuts and berries that they. I mean, that's their substance. That's them living naturally. So when I say I'm a naturalist, that's what I mean. Uh, as for the philosophy and spiritual part, um, I guess you can say I am spiritual in the sense that uh, I do believe in the gods, and I do believe that there are spirits out there, and that I do believe that every living thing does have a spirit or a soul or some sort of life essence, whatever you may call it. Uh, all living things have this. Uh, as in believing in the gods, I do believe in all the gods. I don't care what god it is, I don't care from what religion it is. All the gods exist, just for the simple fact is that the religion exists. If the religion doesn't exist, the god doesn't exist. So therefore, all gods exist. Uh, they may not exist as how we portray them, and I understand that, but they exist nonetheless. I personally do not worship the gods. I use them more as a as a symbol. I use them for their lore. I learn from them through their lore. Uh, And in saying that, uh, I don't worship the gods, I follow the gods. And the main god I follow is this guy right here. His name is Baphomet. He is a god of balance and of witchcraft. There is so much symbolism within him. The reason why he is a symbol of balance is because everything about him is in balance. He's pointing upwards towards a light moon and downwards towards a dark moon. This is the balance between pretty much opposite forces. It also symbolizes the common phrase, as above, so below. He symbolizes the four elements: fire, that torch on top of his head; earth, which is the goat's head and legs; water, which is the scaly stomach, it's like fish scales on his stomach; and air, which are his wings. He is also a balance between man and woman, seeing the phallus between his legs with the two snakes wrapped around, and then the female breast on his chest. Uh, so, as you can see, he symbolizes balance in all of its glory. And that's what I believe that humans themselves need to achieve, is some sort of balance between their mundane life and their spiritual life, their, you know, their attitude on everything. They need to achieve some sort of balance, and in achieving balance, you achieve open-mindedness, in my own personal belief. You may not believe the way I believe, and I don't care if you believe the way I believe. It's my belief, not yours, and you have your beliefs, they're not mine. Uh, the philosophy I follow is even a lot of pagans even tell me that, you know, I'm kind of screwed up on it, but I do follow the philosophy of Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. The reason why I say philosophy is because Satanism, in this sense, is not a religion, it is a philosophy. There is no dogma, there is no spiritual entities, it is all symbolisms. And that's essentially where I get the don't worship but follow mentality of the gods. It's just, I believe the gods are there so much to where I couldn't follow Satanism itself 100%. But I did borrow the philosophy from the Book of Satan. That's the whole first book of the Satanic Bible. And it essentially is just human nature. And I agreed with it so much that I decided to incorporate it into my beliefs, because it is what I believe. When I was younger and I was just getting out of Christianity, I didn't agree with the way everything was, and I just said enough's enough. And I, being a younger person who was born Catholic, raised Christian, I felt empty without some sort of spiritual guidance. So I started going around and looking and everything else, and I came across Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible, and I said, well, you know, let's see what this really is all about. And I read and I studied, and I practiced for a while, and I realized that I was still felt empty because I did not have that spiritual guidance. So I started to delve into more into the Wicca and uh, all sorts of different paths of paganism, until I finally did almost 8 years of study. You know, so I'm not going to say I know everything about paganism, because that's just impossible. I mean, you can be smart in the subject, but to know everything, you're spending lifetimes upon lifetimes. which brings me to my next subject, the afterlife. Now, I don't believe in the conventional heaven or hell or purgatory or any of that. I believe that one of three things will happen to you when you die. If your soul, I call it the recycling process. Uh, it's it's actually fairly easy. You die, you go through this recycling process. You know, your spirit, your energy, it's out there in the cosmos and it's doing its thing. If your if your personal spirit, if your personal soul did not learn the lessons that it needed to learn, you will come back at a later lifetime. And you will keep coming back until you learn the lessons you need to learn. Basically, achieving balance, achieving that pure balance. And for all of you people will say, well, do you know where you're going when you die? Yeah, I'm coming back. I'm going to be reincarnated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I know for a fact that I did not learn my lesson or the lessons I needed to learn. So I'm coming back until I learn them. Hopefully, I'm not as naive in my next life as I was in this life. Second thing that happens, you just become part of the cosmos itself, which means that people could act, other people of faith or who believe in prayer or magic could actually use and harness your energy to their benefits. So, in a way, you will still be used, hopefully, for good. You will still be able to help somebody in need. And, you know, this is that medium portion. The coming back is the bad portion. The staying out there in the cosmos is the medium portion. It's, you know, you learned your lessons, but you haven't done anything significant enough to go to the third portion, which is apatheus. Apatheus is a Greek for uh, to become God. Now, I'm not saying you're actually becoming God, but you become a God in the sense that you have done something so great and profound that you will be remembered. Now, I hate to say this, but many historical figures have achieved apatheus. We learn about them all the time in school. You know, you have, I live in America, so if you're living in another country, I do live in America, so when I'm talking about my country's history, just know that. The American forefathers, especially George Washington, have achieved apatheus. You know, you have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Mahatma Gandhi. You know, all these figures have achieved apatheus. But then you also have people like Putin and Stalin and Hitler, you know, Genghis Khan, uh, you know, still all these horrible figures as well that, you know, did horrible, horrible things to people. Sadly enough, they have achieved apatheus because they have done something so great and profound, granted in the bad way, that they are remembered throughout history. So, yeah, I mean, that's the balance. You know, you can't have good without evil. You know, one cannot exist without the other. If the sun was not there, the moon could not be. You know, something like that. Night without day. But that is essentially what I believe. That you must achieve balance and that everything is alive. The gods are not meant to be worshipped, but followed. I hope this enlightened you a little bit about what I believe in. Uh, if you have any more questions, I will be glad to answer them. You could reach me here in the comments below or on Google Plus. I'm under the same name. Just I guess you can go to my channel and look at the About Me section. Find me on Google Plus. Um, I always have it on. It's always on my phone. If I don't get back to you right away, don't worry. I will. I check my uh, phone uh, every 2 to 4 hours. Um, but as far as my basic beliefs and keeping within a certain time limit I had for myself, that's what I believe in. I hope it was informational. Again, if you have any questions, comment below, or you can send me a personal message on Google Plus. All right. Well, as always, blessed be.